something that was not feasible earlier. We have been joined by the head of Athens APOC, Mr. Zafiris Marinidis. Zafiri, come on the stage. Before we start this Q&A, this was the missing part at that time due to overlapping commitments. 0346, we will repeat the photo with Zafiris and Kosmas. The point was that we didn't have the input from the origin airport when we did the validation, and that was missing. Please give us...
This is good morning again. This is actually missing because the origin airport is just the one that does not create the problem. That's why we're expecting the destination airport to dispatch what is desirable for them, and we react depending on what they provide. So the role was, let's say, somehow passive, but it was fully active during the day of operation and created a lot of problems, fortunately, in a virtual environment. Having said that, we had great colleagues with us on board. We have managed to ensure that this exercise was real. Thanks to airspace user, Mr. Vasilakis from Aegean Airlines, and our co-partners, of course, Mrs. Agapitou from the network manager, very, very important effort. So overall, it was a very successful exercise for us, and the whole benefit was that we have something that was tangible at the end of the day, and we have something to present. As a destination, as a departure airport, we are proud enough for that. Thank you very much.
So, starting the Q&A, if we can recap, we have interesting features covering the whole spectrum of airport network operations in a manner. Why? Because on one hand, in 0346, we talked about arrival management. So we are using all the methodology of arrival management for a better predictable operation under certain operational conditions that I have to stress that. Why? Because if we are working on a day that it might be impacted by a number of network regulations, on that specific day, the benefits might be limited. But if we have a normal day of operation and based on the mix of flights, yes, we might have some tangible results. So we just enrich our toolbox with a solution which might be applicable and save us from a conventional regulation. Taxi times is just the physical evolution of what we have today with the variable taxi times. Passenger side, we all know, and we are grateful to all our partners that contributed in the ATM update, in the updated ATM master plan. The passenger is at the center. If we are not in a position to see what might be the correlation of the passenger and the baggage flow to the aircraft flow, we cannot improve the predictability of our local operation and network operation. So at the airports, what we practically do is we are transforming flows, and the passenger and baggage flows, if correlated to the aircraft flows, will give a much better proposition to the network. This is how European Union expects from us to see the big picture of the seamless transport. And as such, through all FASTNet solutions and features, we believe that we are making the step forward, and certain solutions might be ready for industrialization while we are here to further evolve to the next stage of research now that we'll start through the new calls and the awarded projects. So, should we start the Q&A? Yeah. The floor is yours. We'll start. Melina.
Okay, it does. So a bit more of a technical question for the 0347. You mentioned that at the beginning, indeed, the predictive model was performing less optimal than the manual one. And you did mention that the passenger booking improved part of that, but I was wondering if there were any specific heuristics that you added together with a predictive model to kind of like help the accuracy a bit more.
Okay, yes, so when we started to work, we had different models, I mentioned at the beginning, and some of them were created with some specific historical data, others with other historical data. So we wanted to compare with how the different information in the different models could improve the accuracy. Okay, so what we saw at the beginning is that we could not believe that having all the information integrated, doing it automatically, processing a lot of millions of data based in historical data, and these guys from ADP doing manually in an Excel file, they were providing result or predictions more accurate than the artificial intelligence was doing. And it takes us a lot of meetings to, you have something in your brain that you are not telling me. Because if we are using the same data, at least we should have the same values. Because artificial intelligence will be doing more or less what they are doing. And we detected, but the days before to the operation, we also take this information into account. Come on. So give us that information and let's put it in the model. And this was a continuous, so initially we identified some specific source of information, but not all of them. So we discussed it, what information do you use? I have the information in this system, this system. But during these 6 months that they are doing amendments of this planning, they were using also additional information that was coming from different, and that takes some time to identify that, you have something more that I don't have. I mean, and this was a very challenging process because we were trying to win them because, come on, it's not possible. I mean, there are a lot of predictions during, because we were doing prediction for the next months. So they had an Excel file, an amazing Excel file with a lot of figures per day, per intervals of 10 minutes. And in the most of the cases, they were doing better prediction than the predicted model. And that it takes some time until we identify, the other knowledge that they have and transform that knowledge in a digital input that we could use for the predicted models, But I think this is one of the most important things, that when you start working in artificial intelligence, maybe you are thinking that, taking information from here, it's all. No. You need to sit together with the operational people and understand all the knowledge that they have in order to transform that in the predictive model. Otherwise, you will not reach the accuracy that they have. Giuseppe.
Sorry for this. If there might be any questions coming from the participants in the Zoom link that we have provided, they can simply write in the comment section their question so that we can take it up and respond right away. Thanks.
I had a question.
Is working?
For solution 346, what was the communication channel with the airlines? For their...
Great. Nicola, come with us here on the stage as airline, or you may take the microphone. Please, Nico.
In the solution, let's say, and then what were you able to implement? But what is foreseen and what was actually used?
Before we give the floor to Nikos, we haven't done anything new from how we operate today. An AOP way of operating at an airport by default has the airspace user as part of the operational stakeholders within the frame. So As we operate today, we operate it for the sake of the exercise. The airspace user, either physically or virtually, is part of the AOP process. Why I'm saying physically or virtually? Because it depends on the modus operandi of the specific airports. You might have airports that in the APOC, you have the physical presence of the airlines, or the airspace user decide with their ground handling partners that for certain part of their operation, they are delegating part the work to the handlers. So we are not touching on this. We said, Aegean Airlines, please cooperate with us like we cooperate today. But they had to make a decision about whether they would accept the delay. Nico?
Yeah, I just want to say it's not exactly the same team, on our side at least, that work in the CDM part or that, let's say, regulate the network from our point of view. So, yeah, but the answer is clear. Yeah, it goes through the CDM existing platform. Yeah.
Exactly. The easy way would have been to follow the same procedure as an MDAS.
Closer.
Yeah, without asking the airline. It might be a global regulation. Nobody asks you if you want to be regulated. But in our case, we added the opinion of the airline, meaning that there is a proposal for a specific TTA that you might reject and say, okay, I cannot delay this flight, and you might propose another flight. Exactly.
You understand that the possibility for delaying a flight has to do with a carrier that has a substantial number of operations at that airport, because they are in a position to see the overall benefit in terms of fleet planning. The carrier with most of the aircraft operating at that airport will be definitely affected. So this is, let's say, the easy catch in that case of exercise. Please, Juan.
So it's just the AUP has the plan, but what is the plan in that airport? So at the end, we need to involvement of the airline in order to, because the AUP will propose potential flights for solving the issue, and the airlines has to confirm that, okay, this is not going to create me another issue in the third airport. Okay.
Okay.
Any other question?
Any other questions? No? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Miss Agapitou.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. I'm Spiridula. Could you get back to the slide 52, please?
52.
Yes, it's just the one before the end. 52 here, yes. I would like to read again the Charlie, because I had a crazy idea, but if you have covered it, I should remain silent. Give me seconds, please. Oh. No, it doesn't cover me, so I spit out the crazy idea, because you aroused my curiosity and my fantasy, rather. And I was thinking, once you finish up with all these very well-trimmed parameters that you enter into the AI, how would it be if you picked a small number of unusual circumstances, the crucial events, and you made another version for, in this, the 0347 case that you can predict for a week, a month, and a year in advance, so you have time and data enough to collect, because you bring out results for baggage, for passengers, for checks. So I think it would be a good idea, just like this. Thank you.
I think maybe Eric, because he was the one that created this. I think that we could see here. Okay, airport capacity. We had. Okay, it's not here listed, but one of the things that Eric was proposing at the beginning, Eric Derogué from Schiphol, is to also incorporate the airport capacity challenge. This whatever you are going to have any civil works in some specific area that are going to reduce your capacity, and how this could impact in advance. Okay, So this is one of the use cases that we have not been able to develop it, okay? But this is something that could help. I mean, we have been focusing mainly in the passengers, baggage, and so on, and the alignment with the flight schedules coming from the airline, but also the airport and the ATM also. Is something that this information could also come from the different systems and could be part of the overall analysis that could be done in order to anticipate, okay, that maybe the airlines are planning flights for the next 3 months, or for whatever reason, the capacity in the airport, because there is an issue, whatever, is going to be reduced, and we know in advance. With 3 months in advance. The airport, for sure, they are going to declare it in any moment. But if we are able to have that information and put it in the system as soon as possible, in order that we could anticipate which are the flights that are going to be affected, impacted, and how we could propose the cancellation or the replanning of these flights in the best way, in order that we could have this plan with some months in advance or weeks or whatever, so it is something that will be possible. But this is what this new source of information that could help to improve the concept. It's what we expect for the next R&D projects. I mean, this kind of needs is what we need for creating the new proposal. I mean, what is your need? I will need to continue working on that, but using this part. That's perfect. I mean, it's something that we could propose to the SJU for the next R&D project, that how we could increase what we have done in FASTNet in order to take into account other impacts in the capacity for the FMP, for the airport capacity or whatever, that could be part of the solution. Okay?
So we don't have any questions from our Zoom participants. If there is no other question, something on the 0347 that has to be stressed, because we are continuing research on that side, and as a matter of fact, our context has to do with multimodality and with putting passenger on the center. It's definitely important that we find a way, like in the initial development of our ACDM concept and the AOP concept, that we work with our airline partners towards the provision of provisional passenger data in the best possible form, without getting into commercial issues which are well respected and appreciated. Why? Because if we have the provisional passenger flows towards the airport, we will be in a much better position to plan to make a better resource planning, and therefore to have a better predictability about the time of departure of an aircraft. The same applies on the reverse side by transforming the arriving aircraft flows to passenger flows in order to deliver them to the other modes of transport. But like in all other similar cases in the past, I believe as an industry we have demonstrated that when the time comes, we are quite mature to find the ways to best serve the operational needs together with full respect and protection of the commercial interest of all parties involved.